Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Excuse me. I was too busy eating some Scooby snacks to start this morning off. Welcome in, everybody. Happy to have you, happy to have you, happy to have you, as per usual. Not a bad morning here in this crypto market. Not a bad morning today. We're going to take a look at what's going on. We're going to look at the charts, the news, get prepared, go kind of look at some of the stuff that we've been getting from Trump and his administration. And yeah, a good bit of stuff today. Probably going to be on stream for an hour, 2, 3, 8, 9, 12 hours. Whatever happens, happens, baby. So how's everybody doing this morning? How's everybody doing this morning? I see you. Christian, what's up? Mr. Nibbles, how we doing? T-Dot, Milan, E, how's it going, homie? Larry at BlackRock said to buy the dip. Got it. It is never, ever too early for Scooby Snacks. And if they were to sponsor me, I'd put them in your face all day. Alrighty. Yo, Doomsday Preppers of South Carolina. Now that's a name. Billy, how we doing? Good morning. Dreadnought, Christian, Jamie. Oh yeah. What's up, baby? Let's get into it then, yeah? So, what's happening today? The crypto market's up a little bit. I made a video for you all last night talking about the fact that we needed to see this. Like, quite frankly, what we're seeing right now, we needed to see. There's a structure forming for Bitcoin right now, and if it is successful, we'll be in a good spot. If it's not successful, we'll probably be in a bad spot, right? So we're going to cover all that today. I do have a couple announcements before we do jump in. Announcement number 1 is the Instagram is up and running, baby. Tyler Hill YT _. It is in the description below. Feel free to go follow me on Instagram. And also, we got the TikTok going. Your boy's a TikToker now. And feel free to go check that out as well. That is linked in the description below at Tyler Hill Crypto. Of course, as per usual, I do have the Twitter up and running, Tyler Hill YT. So your boy's multi-platform. We going global, baby. Don't mind me. Now, yeah, so feel free to go check those things out. I will have a couple things for you with the school, some free guides, and a bunch more later on, so do stay tuned for those, of course. But before then, let's jump into it. Let's kind of talk about what's going on here. So, and you know what? I saw you. Shout out to you, Nakamoto. All love, homie. So looking at the market again, we have a pretty strong day. We have ADA up 20%, BCH, JTO putting in some solid gains. PLSX has been so volatile recently, but honestly, not a bad month for it. You know, had some gains, had some losses, but overall looking pretty dang on good. A lot with Link, TEL, BCH. Yeah, not bad. A lot of positivity from these US-based cryptos. That is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from the market, is that these US cryptos, right, your Ondos and stuff, they're having a lot of success. A lot of layer ones are having success, and this is great to see, guys. This is great to see. The market is being led by utility, and I love to see that, right? We were in a period for a while where all the gains and the hype and the excitement and all the craziness, quite frankly, was centered around meme coins and things that don't really provide real value to the space. I mean, obviously, I guess there could be a value from a community-based perspective, but no real value in my opinion. And it seems as if the market has made a mature turn. You know, the market's made a mature turn in the sense that it's moving back in the direction of utility, right? You see your things like your ADAs and your XRPs, your Solanas kind of, right? You see your Sonic tokens, your Ondos, your ADAs, even your SWI kind of looking pretty good today. You're starting to notice the market moving back in that direction. And the reason that's such a strong thing is because this is what you need in a period of uncertainty. In a period of uncertainty, you need players in the market to lead you out of that uncertainty sustainably and, you know, with some stability, right? You don't want to see it being headed by meme coins, because quite frankly, meme coins will be up 20% one day and down 30% the next day. And all that does is contribute to the uncertainty. All that does is contribute to the craziness we're seeing in the market. And so because of that, I obviously am a huge fan of this. I do like what I'm seeing. And I love the fact that this market is being dominated right now by some of your utility coins, which is very good. Looking at your top 10, your top 10 obviously is down a little bit on the hour, which we will go over in a little bit here. But for the last 24 hours or so, roughly seen some pretty strong resurgence, right? Bitcoin pumping back up to 88,000, which is very important. We have ETH pushing back up to 2,100. We got, you know, BNB and Solana kind of doing okay, nothing crazy there. Cardano smashing it on the day. Pi smashing, almost in the top 10. I think it might have been at one point. You know, looking at this bad boy, it's crazy. Like, had that beautiful run, kind of had this pullback, but it is trying to find some stability, and I will actually give Pi a lot of props. It is very difficult to have stability after a launch in a bull market, quite frankly. So, oh, there you go. There's your quite frankly. In a bull market, right? And so the fact that they're seeing some stability in the market that we're in right now, which again, I still think we're in a macro bull market, but a very shaky, uncertain market, I give Pi a lot of props. I like to see that. And it is good to see another strong player in the space. Um, Let's see what else we got. We got Hedera, Chainlink. Some of these ones putting in some pretty sizable gains. Not bad. I mean, obviously we can't get too far ahead of ourselves, right? You look at the weekly and the picture is still painted. You know what I mean? The picture is still painted. The majority of the market is still down, but again, you are seeing a little bit of strength coming out of some of these, these key players, especially your US based ones, right? You look at something like Hedera, looking pretty dang on good. Looking pretty dang on good. Still a bit down on the month, but overall, a lot of sustainability here. And so the market's looking dang on good. Not gonna lie. Shifting gears a little bit from more of a fundamental perspective before we dive into the technicals. Fear and Greed popping back up to your 25. Pretty interesting stuff there. We did get as low as, when was that? That was the 27th. I know we got down to the 10 on some, but this just shows a 20. But yeah, right now it's kind of just, it's pulled back a little bit for sure. You look at your 30 days, for example, and you can see we are kind of flatlining it a little bit. And that is moving in tandem with the rest of the market, which is interesting. Looking at Coin Glass. I don't know if I have Coin Glass pulled up yet. Let's see. Looking at Coin Glass here. Maybe it's going to take a second to load. We are at a 20. Okay, so we're at a 20 on this one as well. So still sitting in extreme fear. We've only spent 150 days here. So I actually would tell you all to take this as a bit of a blessing. It is a little bit scary and it can be a little bit worrying. And a lot of investors don't like when they're scared. But I mean, considering the fact that crypto's been around as long as it has, right? We're talking over a decade. The fact that we spent over, roughly 5-6 months within extreme greed within that decade just tells you that moments like this are uncommon and they need to be taken advantage of, right? You need to go in and you need to use a moment like this to lean into the market. And again, I always say, I'm not saying whenever I say that, I'm not saying like, okay, go in and just dump all of your money into crypto, but whether that's, taking some new free classes or free courses or paid courses or, finding new YouTubers, learning new indicators, learning new strategies. That's what you do during times like this. Because the people who do that during times like this always end up the ones who are selling everything whenever things are in, I'm literally reading this backwards. My bad. 300 days. We spent 300 days in extreme fear and 150 days here, but the point remains the same, right? 300 days, not even 1 year of the last 10, 15 years have been spent in extreme fear. And again, the people who lean into this market right here, the people who lean into that fear are always the ones who end up selling the most, right? When we're at extreme greed, which again, only 5% of the time we've been here, these are the ones who are taking big profits. These are the ones who are getting out because they utilized a moment like this to get ahead, right? And that's what I want you all to do. I want you to lean in right now. Looking at this market from more of a technical perspective as we start to switch towards the charts, we can get an overall look at the RSI heat map real quick. And I mean, you can also see that extreme fear represented here on the looking, on the RSI heat map. Over the last week, everything is absolutely nosedived. Bitcoin's all the way back down towards that neutral level. Most cryptos are down to those weak and oversold level. And if you don't know what this is, quite simply, this is cryptos. How do you even explain it? It's a map of where each crypto is on their individual RSI. So if you don't know what the RSI is, the RSI is a very, very simple indicator that you can use that kind of gives you an understanding of what momentum, and strength you're seeing in the market. So you look at something like Bitcoin, for example. You ever seen this purple indicator right here? This is called an RSI. And history says that whenever an RSI is above or around the 70 level, that crypto is too high. And whenever it's below or around the 30 level, that crypto is too low. Or in other words, it is oversold whenever it's in this range, and it's overbought when it's in this range. The higher you go, the more likely you are to fall. The lower you go, the more likely you are to pump. And so what this shows us is kind of an overview of what all of the cryptos are doing in terms of their RSI. And you can see, Ethereum, AVAX, Doge, Sol, BNB, most of these things are either at the weak zone, which is that 30 level, roughly around that 30 level, 30 to 40 level, or in the weak zone, which is below that 30 level, right? And so in a moment where everyone's scared and everyone's fearful and the market's really, really selling off, you can also see as well that many of these cryptos are starting to reset. And the likelihood is, again, whenever you're in moments like this, history shows buying and leaning into periods in which Cryptos are weak and oversold. The market is in extreme fear, and everyone's screaming that the bear markets here do tend to play out. They do tend to pay out over the long term. And so, with that in mind, I mean, we're in a very good spot in the market. I know it's obviously scary, and I know it sucks, and there is a risk that we do see this crypto market just absolutely nosedive. I'm not going to pretend like there's not, but even if that is the case, the likelihood is at some point we're going to see the crypto market rally way past where it's at right now, and anything that you do right here is going to compound. Whether it's buying, it'll compound into gains over the long term, or it's just learning more, right? You learn new strategies right here. You learn new indicators, new techniques, new tools. And as time does progress, the likelihood is that all of those new things you taught yourself back here will lead you to have compounded gains during this period when it does come one day, right? And so that's kind of where we are in the market. Very, very fearful, obviously. A lot of people are nervous and scared, but I'm not, quite frankly. It is just a part of the game, okay? So, going a little bit more into the technical side of things, right? Let's dive into the technicals. So in yesterday's video, I made a video for you all, and I was talking about the fact that Bitcoin was about to make a massive decision. Bitcoin was about to tell us what direction this market was going in, not only for what I believe to be a couple weeks, but this could be a couple months of a problem. I told you all that if Bitcoin's price was capable of holding some support in this zone between $84,000 and $82,000, right here, this red zone, that I thought it would open up the door for it to be able to continue back up towards some of these highs. Now, the reason why I said this is extremely simple. This is its golden Fibonacci zone, as you can see here. This is the golden pocket. And history says that whenever you have a swing low to a swing high, and you come back down and you back test the golden pocket, this is like a trampoline. Imagine you climb up a ladder, right? You climb up a ladder on top of a platform, then you jump off, okay? You just jump off that ladder. This golden zone is gonna act like a trampoline. And there's opportunities oftentimes that trampoline takes you not only back up to the height of that ladder, but maybe even further. Maybe we got that double bounce screw and we push you back up to some of those higher highs. The problem is sometimes that trampoline breaks. And little did you know that trampoline is over a gigantic hole that leads to absolute nothingness, right? And so you got to look at this golden box and say, okay, will the trampoline hold or will it break? That's the golden zone. And as of right now, that trampoline is holding quite decently. Now, obviously, there are still some tests that need to get in front of us. And realistically, while Bitcoin is below $95,000, we're still at a pretty big risk. At any given point, this thing might just capitulate all the way back down, get rejected, and the trampoline's going to break. So we're still not in a spot to where we can get too excited about the fact that the market's pumping today, but it is a good sign to show that we are making moves in the correct direction and that we are using this trampoline in the right way and that we are trying to use it in order to get ahead of this and try to push back above this high to start confirming the actual move. Because remember, we already have on the micro from these highs that we had here, the higher high. Now we're looking for a confirmed higher low, and we want to see whether or not that is going to be this, whether we're going to use this to continue upwards and actually start some sort of more short-term uptrend, or again, do we just capitulate downwards and get rejected here? Without getting too complicated, what you can see and what you will notice is that we are actually in between two golden zones. So do you remember how I said there's a trampoline to the bottom side? Well, annoyingly, since we made a swing high to swing low, that means there's a trampoline to the top side as well. And so what could very well happen is Bitcoin kind of just bounce in between these trampolines until one of them breaks. That is a possibility. We don't usually stay here too long, so I would expect one of these trampolines to break at some point, probably today or tomorrow, but that's just purely speculative. Again, we might dribble here for a while. And so, yes, the market is looking good today, and it is very strong, and I do like the fact that we are seeing, prices hold and things holding up well. We can't get too far ahead of yourself. A lot of people already, I'm starting to see the comments in the Twitter and in school and all that stuff. Everybody's starting to scream that the bull market's back. And that, the higher low has been set, banana zone, here we come, yada, yada, yada. I do, of course, applaud the sentiment. We have to be realistic in the sense that, there is still a massive, massive point of resistance above us. Just like we have the support here, there's resistance here. And so we still have to make that move. Now, I have been speculating behind the scenes, just kind of in the back of my mind, that if Bitcoin can clear that top side trampoline, you know what? Look, I actually want to draw it out. Let's draw it and leave it. If it can clear this trampoline to the top side, this one, if it can clear this, there is a reason to believe that you can call this a cup and handle pattern. Some people are going to call it an Adam and Eve. Some people are going to call it a cup and handle. I don't really care what you call it. It is there, though. And I do see that structure. I've kind of started to notice it as well. And if Bitcoin can start to make that move, statistically, data says that your breakout of that move would place Bitcoin's price somewhere around $115,000. Now, am I going to jump on the gravy train that Bitcoin's about to just absolutely send up to an all-time high? No, not really, guys. I mean, there are a lot of things that need to happen in the world right now. I mean, I think with tariffs and all that stuff, people are spooked and a little bit worried. They obviously have M2 money supply carrying us. And if what Trump does continue to do, if these tariffs and stuff do continue to go into effect, there is the possibility or reason to believe that maybe the Fed does start to look to ease up on the economy a bit because that is going to constrain the economy. So maybe those things combined could open the door for a move like this. Again, I'm not really going to bet on it right now. We just kind of need to see how this all plays out. But it is there, and it is something that I'm at least thinking about. The fact that if we break this red box and if we are capable of breaking this key point of resistance right around 95K, we do have a breakout target to the upside of $115,000. So an interesting thought there, to say the least. But the primary focus and the primary thing that I want you to understand is, again, that where we are in the market right now is in decision-making land. Is Bitcoin going to successfully hold this higher low, use it to clear this level, use it to break above this high that is set that new higher high, and actually start looking to rally upwards? Or are we just going to, maybe just dribble here for a while and then capitulate, kind of eliminating any thoughts that this is going to move? Now, I think a lot of this is going to rely on March 7th. As many of you do know, there's a crypto summit coming up, and I would actually like to pull up a little bit of information on that. So do give me a second. Just kind of regarding it. Let's ask Grok, actually. So what info about the crypto summit do we have right now? Let's kind of see what we got here. Hey, also, drink your water. I'm going to ban you from the live stream. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. Okay. Okay, one of the most prominently mentioned events is the White House Crypto Summit, set for Friday, March 7th, which is in 2 days. This will be the first ever cryptocurrency summit hosted at the White House, signaling a significant shift in U.S. policy towards digital assets. President Donald Trump is expected to deliver remarks, joined by key figures like David Sachs and Bo Hines, director of the president's working group on digital assets. The summit will include prominent founders, CEOs, and investors from the crypto industry. While the exact agenda remains unclear, it's anticipated to focus on establishing clear industry guidelines, expanding stablecoin oversight, and potentially discussing a crypto strategic reserve. This event follows Trump's executive order 14178, which aims to support the responsible growth of digital assets, reversing stricter Biden-era policies. So that is very interesting. We actually talked about it earlier, and Letnick came out and said that Bitcoin is to be treated differently from altcoins in the U.S. crypto reserve. I think that's interesting. So I think we're going to get a lot of information. You never know what might happen, right? Maybe I don't want to obviously start speculating, because I think speculation is the leading cause of, crypto cancer at this point. But maybe there is some news. I've seen some stuff circulating about the possibility of what's going to be announced for capital gains tax on crypto, obviously more regulations and things like that. So I think a lot of important information is going to come out. And if the market does rally like crazy into that, like let's just say Bitcoin out of nowhere just starts getting real speculative tomorrow and we start absolutely running, I wouldn't get too into it, right? I would be a little bit nervous, because this is a planned event, and planned events will very typically lead to a lot of volatility in both directions. So I would be very careful right now, but I am extremely curious to see what they say. And I do think what they say is going to have a massive impact on what direction we see crypto break out, right? Do we see Bitcoin break through the top side trampoline first or the bottom side trampoline? Do we see it break through this trampoline, clear through it, or do we get bounced off this trampoline and break through this one, right? That's kind of where we are. And I think what we're going to see over the next coming days, again, is going to have a lot to do with what happens here. Now, from a more technical perspective, let's kind of try to get an idea of what seems more likely. Let's just try to see what's more likely here, guys. We might as well. So looking at this from my perspective, I think it might be smart to go down to your hourly charts to really see. So let's see. So we obviously got that full correction on the 1 hour charts as we did make this move here. We're not seeing any bearish divergence quite yet on this move upwards, which is a strong sign that although we are getting rejected, we are still seeing some dominance there. We are seeing a little bit of a cooling down, and actually we are seeing a little bit of bearish divergence on the MACD. That does go to tell me that maybe there is a lot of resistance coming from this resistance zone, which could be a little bit problematic, obviously. The 4 hour RSI is still sat right around that 50 level, and so that does mean that there is still more room to run. Considering the fact that we didn't really get overextended on this 4 hour RSI here either, it tells me that we definitely do have room to make that move if we want to make the move, but that will be a little bit difficult. Looking at CoinGlass, let me try to get that pulled up. I can't remember where I put it. Here we go. Looking at CoinGlass here and looking at our liquidation map, what we can see here is that liquidations are, boom, 30-day, there you go. Liquidations are still heavily favored towards the upside. There are currently $11.6 billion if Bitcoin does push back above $101,000, while only about $5 billion to the downside. That's a pretty strong balance, but we have seen these sit here for quite a while. And so for me, I think we're kind of at a bit of a 50-50 here. And whenever you generally see this many liquidations on either side of you, it does imply that there's probably going to be volatility on both sides, right? My expectation is that if the market was to kind of just, shake downwards a little bit, maybe even like it did right here, it's going to liquidate a lot of those short traders, freak out all of those short traders who would get liquidated at some of these lower levels. They're going to close down those short trades. All of these long liquidations are going to stay up here. They're still going to stay available at these top levels. And then the market can run. And that might be what happened here, right? Maybe we made this move, all those short liquidations or all those long liquidations got available here, came back down to liquidate as many as possible before the rest started closing them off. And now that we have $11 billion in liquidations to the upside, maybe it uses this trampoline to bounce back up to start liquidating them. I mean, I think that's a reasonable plot. I don't see why that can't happen. The market's just not showing a ton of strength right now. And so that is what kind of just concerns me. I mean, we saw one of the biggest announcements in crypto history a couple days ago, being the crypto strategic reserve, and Bitcoin wasn't even able to maintain 90K. And that's kind of why I do get a little bit concerned about it, because although this has been a fantastic move, like in history and other periods, we would have seen a lot more movement. And I think that just goes to show that retail investors are still spooked. They're still scared. They're not going all in or anything like that right now. And that is why the market's struggling. So my general belief is, from a technical and fundamental perspective, the market has a higher chance of making a move upwards than it does downwards. But obviously we're in an HMZ. I know you guys been waiting. And quite frankly, it is risky, right? It is a risky time to be getting in. And so I would give it a 60-40. I would say a little bit of a higher chance, a 60% chance that we do try to make that move upwards. We do try to break through this trampoline and we try to make that move. But I still think that it's almost a coin flip, because quite frankly, if nothing important comes out of the summit, if they just use it to shill some bullshit or something like that, if it's a letdown or disappointment, don't be surprised, right? A pullback could be on the way. And so we're still kind of in that decision-making mode. And that's why I told you all, whenever you're range bound, right? Whenever you're going sideways between key resistance levels and key support levels, you can't get too confident in either direction. Not in a market like this. Not in the highest manipulated market we've ever seen in history, right? Because that is the case. People always tell me it's not the truth. This is the most manipulated crypto has ever been in its entire history, and that is fact. That is objectively true. You look at just liquidation history, for example. We have seen more liquidation since November than we've seen throughout, most of ever, basically, right? And in a moment like that, it just goes to show, look, these people who are manipulating these markets, they're having a lot of success, right? They're doing very well. They're making a lot of money, because guys, all that money you're getting liquidated, it flows straight up into their pockets, quite frankly. That's number 4, quite frankly, for you. And knowing that, why would they stop? Right? Why would they stop? That's my question for a lot of people. Why would they stop? If they can make money just going up and down, and people are still going super high on leverage, right? We saw how much was it? $5 billion to the downside, $11 billion to the upside. Yeah. If this is available there for them, why would they stop? So that's why I'm not really expecting this market to make a kind of, like big break in either direction right now. And that's why I'm not really trying to bet on it. So with that in mind, it's just where we are, right? And it's just the nature of the beast. And it's just what you have to accept. People think that, it's kind of funny. A lot of people think that this is the first time that this has happened, right? That we've never been in an HMZ. That's number 2 for you. That we've never been in an HMZ. And that this is something like, this is just the new crypto market, and this is how it's going to be forever. But the reality of it is here, guys, that we've seen things like this before. They've not been as successful in terms of liquidations as this one has been, but we've seen things like this before. We've seen these pullbacks, these consolidationary moments. We've seen them time and time and time again. I mean, just look at last year. If you don't think this was price suppression, I don't know what to tell you. We were approaching a major catalyst. We were seeing wells accumulating while the price was not moving whatsoever. And then, of course, we saw these big swings led by pumps and big swings up and big swings down over and over and over again, in a very similar, structurally, a very similar setup to what we've gotten here, right? We got kind of like that little double top followed by capitulation, higher low continuation. Double top followed by capitulation. Who knows? Maybe we get the higher low and continuation, make a similar move here. But we've seen things like this before. They don't last forever. We're not going to be in an HMZ for the rest of our lives. Everyone's getting all dramatic, saying it's never going to end. Of course it's going to end. But what it's going to take one day is the liquidations are going to have to slow down. This one didn't end until retail investors stopped. Simple as that. They just stopped. This one was worse. Quite like, people might not believe me, I think, because you got a taste of the bullishness before this one started, but this one was worse. If any of you were here in the summer of 2024, that was one of the most boring periods I've ever experienced as a crypto investor, even as a stock investor, right? Because I was investing in stocks prior. I've never experienced anything like that. It sucked. And you notice how, as we got towards the end of it, these swings became smaller and smaller, smaller pumps, smaller dumps, smaller pumps, smaller dumps. That's because people stopped trying. Retail investors stopped going in on huge leverage trades. They stopped getting greedy. They stopped getting fearful. They just became indifferent to some degree. And that's what opened the door here. And that's what it's going to take right here. And we're not noticing enough of that indifference quite yet, in my opinion, to end this thing, but it obviously has gotten better. We are objectively seeing less interest and less liquidation ability here than we were back here. So, and you can see it, right? Liquidation history, it's trending downwards, right? You look at all time, we are trending downwards. We are setting, lower highs, meaning that, of course, we are seeing less liquidations on every single one of these big moves. And that means that people are falling for the trap less and less, but I can't imagine that we're in a spot to where like that's enough. I think there's probably going to be more liquidations that'll come. There'll be more liquidity hunts. There'll be more periods for people to lose money. And then once people start giving up, then that's when your market's going to make its move. It'll either try to make that move up or down. Obviously, I'm not here to try to speculate on that. I'm just here to tell you the nature of what we're seeing right now. And so with that in mind, that's kind of where we are with the crypto market in general, especially with Bitcoin. I think that's all that really matters. A lot of people are doing individual technical analysis on Ethereum and Solana, and I will do that in a second here after I take a water break. Drink your water. I'll ban you from the chat. But I think the majority of what you need to be focused on these days is Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is leading the market. It is painting the picture. It's telling us what's going to happen. The market's following Bitcoin. When Bitcoin shows strength, the market does okay. When Bitcoin shows no strength, the market does really bad. Okay, it does really bad. And so watching Bitcoin incredibly closely is what's very important. And obviously watching the liquidation maps as well is extremely important. So that's kind of where we are. With the crypto market. I'm sorry, I just went on a 30-minute ranter just then, but I wanted to just catch you up completely on where we are with the market. And kind of just to summarize, Bitcoin is making a very important decision. It's ranging between two key trampolines, and one of them is going to break, opening the door for continuation in that direction. I think that is going to revolve around what we hear from the crypto summit coming in a couple days. So do expect some volatility. And considering the fact that liquidations are so high right now, it wouldn't shock me whatsoever if we do start to see big liquidations and liquidity hunts, especially throughout the end of this week and throughout this weekend. So with that in mind, I'm obviously just going to kind of pull back the reins a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of let this market play out as it's going to. So let me take a quick little second, 2 minutes. Let's jump into the chat. Let's do a little 2 or 3 minutes in the chat, and then we'll I'll go into more of what my strategy is right now. Very basic, very simple stuff. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions real quick in the chat. We'll answer those and we'll keep it pushing. And I want to get something pulled up for you here. Give me 1 second. All right, so one thing, while you guys are leaving your questions in the chat, I just want to kind of run you through this real quick. Okay, so what I want you guys to do real quick while you are leaving some questions and before we get into the Q&A part, head to the link down below. I have 2 free guides in the description for you right now. There is a Crypto for Beginners guide for any of you who are brand new to the world of crypto. It goes over a lot of stuff, guys. I mean, I'm talking about a lot of stuff. How to get started in crypto, what to be on the lookout for, what charts are, what are indicators, what are technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and more. And then there's a Beyond the Basics one for some of you who are a little bit more experienced. And this dives even deeper into the world of technical analysis, leverage trading, fundamental analysis, and some of the more complicated stuff. So both of those things are available for you down in the description below right now. It's 2 bit.ly links. It'll say get my 2 free guides here. Go click both of those, enter in your email, enter in your information. You'll sign up and we will send you these ourselves, as well as some extra educational material and much more. So feel free to go check those out down in the description below if that is interesting to you. And I will remind you all, while I'm waiting on a couple more questions, I did get the Instagram up at Tyler Hill YT _ and the TikTok as well, Tyler Hill Crypto. If any of those things interest you, you can check it out down below. All right, Connor Kinney is absolutely 1000% a financial advisor. Connor said some well-opened big-time ETH positions. More infos and thoughts on that. I did see that as well. I think so. The guy who opened up those big ETH and Bitcoin positions actually ended up changing his name, his like on-chain identity to March 7th. Meaning, I don't freaking know what that means, quite frankly. But there has been a lot of speculation around March 7th. And so I think that is worth noting at least. And I do think that's interesting for sure. Thanks for the chat. I completed that yesterday, but haven't received the free guides. When can I expect them? You should have got them. Maybe go check your spam, go check your junk, go to the search and type in Tyler Hill and see if anything's popped up there. If still nothing's there, do message me, but I've seen a lot of the emails being sent out. So you should have gotten it already. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about someone named Ryan. What are we talking about? 3.7 is the crypto thing. Yeah, that's the summit. So that's the summit that's coming in 2 days. What are your 3 coins that you don't touch and hold for the long term? The only one I don't do anything to for the most part, I don't actually have any that I don't do anything to. I take profits off of everything. But the ones that I leave alone the most are probably Bitcoin, Solana, just because my average cost on Solana is like 30 bucks. And I don't really sell that much Ethereum, although I kind of think Ethereum's a little bit shitty, to be honest, like especially after being in ETH Denver. I do think that there is some potential still for it to kind of lead, like be an industry anchor for the altcoin market, so I don't really touch it much. But I know that's boring, but it's just, you know. Okay. 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 All right. Let's keep it pushing then. So let's kind of talk about what my strategy is, what my game plan is, and kind of where I'm at with all this. So I'm going to give you guys my strategy. I'll tell you what I'm doing right now, and then I'll dive a little bit deeper actually into, we'll do some technical analysis on some of these altcoins. And then, yeah, I think we're going to, we'll do a Q&A at the end, and then we'll probably wrap it up today. Okay. Okay. So my strategy currently, well, you guys aren't going to particularly love what I'm about to say, but I'm really just not doing anything. I think I said that in the school yesterday. So I said in the school yesterday, which I'm going to show to you in a few minutes here, but I said this is a huge wait and see moment for me right now. As you can see, Bitcoin's price is currently sitting on top of the micro golden zone around $82,200. This zone, the red box, will likely determine whether Bitcoin maintains structural support and remains on track for 100K, or if it breaks down, opening the door for a potential downward Fibonacci extension as low as $69,000. Given how high the stakes are, I'm not making any moves today, just sitting back and watching. And I'm really going to do the same thing today, guys, to be honest with you. I haven't made any buys in a couple days, and it's just because I'm not confident. You know, I'm just not very confident. The way that I see it is we have to, one of two things is going to happen, quite frankly. Bitcoin's going to break this trampoline here and open up the door for a move to anywhere from 99,000 to 105,000. Or it's going to clear this trampoline to the bottom side, lose this golden zone, and then it's going to open up the door for it to fall anywhere from 74,000 to 69,000. There are very big stakes right now. There are high stakes on whether or not Bitcoin breaks through this resistance or this support. And knowing just how much I think this market's going to really start moving depending on what happens there, I'm not going to do anything. Now, hey, maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe Bitcoin comes back down, it loses its support, it comes back down, and then it hits this support level, and then it returns again and hits this one, right? And then we just create a more expanded wedge, or, you know, realistically a consolidatory channel. Maybe that does happen. That's just not likely. That's not what's likely. That's like a 25, 30% chance. It's a 70% chance that when Bitcoin decides to either clear the red box or this red box, we're going to see this market try to move heavily in one of those directions over time. It's not going to go just straight up or straight down. Obviously, there will be back tests and consolidations and stuff. But history just shows that when you break through these key levels, you're going to start opening those doors for macro swings, right? And again, I'm not just making that up. You can kind of see this, right? If I kind of do this, swing low to swing high. Do you see how Bitcoin was maintaining on top of this trampoline, right? The golden Fibonacci zone for a while. It held it. But the moment it lost it, this shit just, like, everybody hit the deck. Granny got kicked straight down the stairs. Bitcoin just absolutely capitulated. That's what I'm talking about. That's normally what happens. And that's kind of what I'm assuming will happen here, either to the upside or to the downside. So what am I doing? Well, my current strategy remains the same. While we are maintaining support, I will keep buying. Like, for example, I did do a little bit of buying on the 3rd of March, which was 2 days ago. I bought some Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, ADA, XRP, Ondo, and SWI, just because these are obviously your US based cryptos. These are the ones that should perform well if the US does really go heavy into crypto. And obviously, I think that's the clear narrative to get behind. There's not enough retail investors in the market right now to drive our own narratives. So we need to just follow the narratives that are being pushed to us. And that means buying the ones that are a part of, you know, the strategic reserve and stuff like that. That's my strategy. And so I did buy some of those on the 2nd. The 2nd was right back here. I bought those roughly. It could not have been right here. It had to be once the market started. Hold on. That must have been the 3rd, right? Oh yeah, the 3rd of March. I was about to say that doesn't make sense. So I started buying them on the 3rd, right around this level here, and then the market's rallied. I've not done anything. I'm not taking profits on it just because it was a tiny little purchase. If it was bigger, maybe I would. But yeah, that's all I'm realistically gonna do. I have considered opening up a leverage trade here, just for shits and giggles, like 3x, 5x, something like that. Stop loss set around $92,500. Take profit level expected around 84.4K. I've thought about it, but it would just be such a tiny trade, and I haven't leverage traded in like 2 or 3 months because this market's shitty. And so I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I have considered it. It's not a terrible trade to take on because the opportunity of a move of this nature is very there. But obviously, with the crypto summit coming up, us pumping into that summit would make a ton of sense. So I still think it's a little risky. And why give up gains? You know what I mean? Like why give up gains? Why take a risk losing some money when I could just dollar cost averages the next time we fall and very likely be up in either soon or in a long time. So buying and holding right now is going to lead to easy gains over a long term, right? A couple years at most. And so to me, I'm just not really doing any risking with that. That's something that I tell people a lot is like, have there been opportunities for me to open up leverage trades in here? Yeah. And are there some where I would have won big? Yeah, absolutely. Again, I told you all on stream that I actually wanted to open up a leverage short trade if Bitcoin did lose this golden zone here, because I would expect it to come back towards 84K. And that's what happened. But the risk of that is that it might not have happened. We're in a heavily manipulated zone. And knowing just because it did this doesn't mean it might have just done the opposite. It might have held this golden zone. We might have rallied back up here, and I'd have just lost money. And that could have been money I just used to DCA throughout this time. You know what I mean? So to me, just leverage trading right now is just too, it's just, not only is it too risky because the market's manipulated, but in addition to that, the gains right now are easy. We're in extreme fear. We're rarely in extreme fear. There's not been one moment in Bitcoin history before November of 2024 that if you bought in extreme fear, you lost if you held it up until November of 2024. Anytime before this that we were in extreme fear and you bought, you were up. And so considering we're in extreme fear right now, that's how I feel the same way. I'd just rather DCA if I'm going to do anything rather than take a risk on a leverage trade when it's not really going to compound my gains that much. So that's kind of where I am. Now, I know some of you guys are leverage trading and I'm fine with it. Like, I don't blame you. There are opportunities here. There is structure that makes a lot of sense, right? There are obviously your Fibonacci zones that open up these doors for pretty solid swing trades. But overall, I'm just not doing it. If you are doing it, let me show something to you real quick. I have been back demo trading a little bit to get my feet wet again before I do jump back in because it's been a couple months. And I've just been back on BTCC about 50-60% of the time. So if you do want to check out BTCC and you are an experienced trader who knows what they're doing, not a beginner. If you're a beginner, do not touch this, leave this alone. But if you know what you're doing, head to the link down below. You will get a 10% bonus on all first time deposits between $500 and $100,000, meaning if you deposit, say $10,000, they'll give you $1,000 to start trading with. And whatever profit you make from that $1,000 is yours to keep. So it's a very good deal. There are some terms and conditions, so do go check that out. That is linked down below as well. Again, only if you're experienced and if you know what you're doing. Only if you're experienced and know what you're doing. If you're a beginner, leverage trading is it's just going to wreck you. You're going to lose. You're going to blame everyone but yourself. Don't do it. Just trust me. Just don't do it. Okay. But yeah, so that's my strategy. Not much right now. If at any given point Bitcoin does fall back towards, let's go ahead and call it 82K. If we do see Bitcoin back at 82K, I'll probably do a little bit more buying. You know what I mean? I'll probably accumulate a little bit more at some of these levels and kind of just play the game and see what happens, right? Do we hold or not? And obviously, I've told you all, the more Bitcoin falls, if it falls, the more I'll be doing. I reinvested only about 10% of the profits that I took a couple days ago, and for that reason specifically. Because if Bitcoin does fall to 78K or 73K or 69K, I want to redeploy 30%, 25%. 40%. I want to invest bigger amounts at these lower levels rather than, throwing it all back in right now. So not really doing too much, sitting back, waiting and watching. And then, just going to kind of let it play out here. Let us see which one of these trampolines we are going to clear first. And then that's going to tell me the direction that I want to go in with my own bags, right? I saw one of you ask me if I was going to take profits, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Yeah, I'm probably going to. If Bitcoin's price does push back into this zone between anywhere, let's go ahead and call it from $99,000 all the way up to 109. If we see Bitcoin get back in here at any given point, I am going to be taking a hefty amount of profit off the table. And the only reason that I do that is because we did see such a major signal of weakness here from the crypto market. It tells me that when this bear market does come, if it's not here already, it is going to hit very fast. And I got beat up last bull market, guys, because we had a moment just like this last bull market. We recovered back up to those range highs. Oh no, this wasn't the bull market. It was right here. Yeah, I was about to say that does not look right. But we saw this pullback. We came all the way back up to these range highs, and then the market capitulated, right? And it happened very fast. This was the warning signal, and then this was the bear market. And knowing that I got burned when that happened, if we do see Bitcoin's price push back up towards, $99,000, $109,000, I am going to be taking a lot of profit. Like 20, 30% of my position, I'll probably close down just to lock in more. You guys got to understand, I was buying Bitcoin at 29,000, 21,000, 17,000. No, I think my lowest purchase was actually, right around this like $18,000 level. I missed this bottom, but I caught it right here roughly. So I was buying Bitcoin at 18K, 20K, 30K. And now that my positions, those buys specifically are up 3, 4, 5X, it's like the reasonable thing to do is when you get this big warning signal like this, that whenever the bull market does end, it's going to be brutal. You're going to want to go in and take a little profit off the table. I'm obviously not closing the majority of my position. I'm probably going to leave 60, 70% of my position open, even if the bear market does start, because I am a long-term investor. I'm not trying to play the short-term game. I'm not trying to sell some right here to rebuy it right here. Would it have worked? Sure. Will it work always? No, right? I'll miss bottoms and stuff. That's annoying. I'm a long-term investor. And so I am going to be just leaving most of my positions open. But I am going to be taking profits off some, especially if we do rally up here. At no point will I sell to the downside, as long as nothing fundamentally changes within the world of crypto. Like, for example, if the bear market is here and Bitcoin just capitulates to say 60K, I'm not going to start selling. It is what it is. I'm just going to ride out the bear market, right? I'm glad I didn't sell last time. Like, even though I could have sold right here, I'm glad I didn't, because me having those bags kept me engaged. It kept me up in the game. It kept me watching the charts. And that's the reason I was able to buy so much during these pullbacks. Me selling right here, had I sold right here, I'd have probably missed this, because I'd have started focusing my interest in other places and I wouldn't have had the opportunity to buy here. And so I'm not going to sell. If we go into a bear market, it just is what it is. I'm going to ride it out. I'm going to go through another bear market. I've been through a couple already. It's not that big a deal. You just got to kind of thicken up that skin, because the shit's annoying. And so I will take profits if we pump. I won't be selling if we start dumping. But if we do start dumping, I will be buying a lot. And I'm talking about a lot of crypto. So that's just kind of where we are with that. Now, from more of a beginner strategy perspective, let me actually go over here. Do you all remember I opened up a brand new portfolio? It was the beginner crypto investing portfolio. And I told you all that I was going to be making moves in it as if I was a brand new beginner with $10,000 ready to invest in crypto. Well, I still have that portfolio, and I want to update you all on that real quick. Okay. The current portfolio looks like this. Of the $10,000, I still have $7,800 roughly in cash, which means I'm 78% in cash. I started this portfolio, I believe, let's see. I started this portfolio on February 11th. Okay. And yeah, so I have $2,102 fiat version of crypto, and then of course about $7,800 worth of cash. Now, overall, the portfolio itself is down. We can see here, there should be a way to see my overall. I don't know, I'm blind right now. 1 second. Oh yeah, there we go. So all-time profit is down about $100 off that $10,000. So that means the total portfolio is down about 1%, which isn't too dang on shabby. The portfolio is broken down like this at the exact moment. As you can see, I have some Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently makes up roughly, I wish there was a way I could see the percentages. Oh, there we go. It makes up about 15%. And then I also have Solana at 2%, ETH at 2%, and then the rest at less than 1% of the total bag itself. This is the way that I'm looking at the market right now. I think Bitcoin is this much more important than the alts. And so that's why I'm so heavily invested into it. And then overall, again, some of these positions are doing okay. For example, Cardano, I'm at a 22% profit on that one. Hubdera, I'm at a 10% profit. XRP, I'm barely in profit. And then some of these other ones I'm down, obviously, at about a 0.50 percent loss for BTC, 16%, 17, and 24% down on some of these other ones. So that's just kind of where we are right now. I'm just letting it ride. I told you all I was going to start this crypto portfolio at what many people believe to be the very top of the bull market. And then I'll show you all that even if we are at the top of the bull market, this portfolio is going to make money in the long term. If you have enough patience, a simple enough strategy, and just enough dedication to the crypto space, this portfolio is going to make money. Mark my words, it's going to make money. Matter of fact, at one point, it was up already $100. Now, I don't care about that. Again, I'm not thinking about the gains. I'm not taking profit out this thing for a while. But the reality of this portfolio is this is a good example, right? Me as someone who's been in this market for 6 or 7 years, I'm willing to, I started a portfolio a month ago and I'm down too, right? So there's no exceptions. Everyone's down. Everyone's getting beat up. Many people are losing money. But you notice the conviction that I have is like, I don't care. I don't care that I'm at 1%. Don't care. It makes no difference. Because at the end of the day, if you give me enough time and a very, 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 I don't know, just simple enough strategy, it will make money. Just watch. Mark my words. Okay. So I just wanted to update you on that. I haven't made any transactions in a while. I don't know if I can see Yeah, I haven't done much. The last time that I was doing some stuff, I bought Bitcoin at $80,000. I also before that bought Bitcoin at around $89,000, and that was like the last thing I did. I did a pretty big purchase. I deployed 5% of my total portfolio into Bitcoin at once at $80,300, and that was, let's see, what date was that again? That was on February 27th. So that was roughly, that was right here. Okay, so I deployed about 5% of my cash into Bitcoin right here. Obviously, wrote it out, pull it back a little bit. So that's what I've done with that portfolio. And yeah, and so that's kind of where we are. Obviously, this isn't my main portfolio. Again, this is just a portfolio that I'm using as an example to show, even if you start investing at what many people believe to be the top of the bull market, you can still make money over a long enough time. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else in terms of strategy. I am obviously looking at alts, and we are going to do a technical analysis session, like a rapid fire TA session on altcoins in a few minutes here. But I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing else I'm forgetting. No, not that I can think of. All right, so that's my strategy. I will let you know. I will let you guys know as well. If you do want to see, like, obviously when I did buy Bitcoin at $80,000 and all that stuff, that is all available for you over in the school. In the school, you can see what I'm buying, what I'm selling, the moves that I'm making, and more. You can see everything that I'm doing. As the same goes for Connor Kinney, people like Aaron Bennett. We have a bunch of coaches. We do courses, classes, and live streams. We have workshops. We have live trading sessions with the crew. I mean, you can see the gains that the community's been printing. It's absolutely nuts. Even in the last 24 hours, look how many gains the community's been printing. I mean, a $13,000 gainer there from Hack. Hack is one of the goats of the community. You can see it. I mean, this community makes money during good times and bad times. And so if you want to check that out, the link is down below. I will also show you whenever you do sign up, you will see stuff like this, right? So you'll see the intermediate course. And whenever you jump into this bad boy, you're going to get 5 types of training, you know, intro to technical analysis, fundamental analysis, meme coins, how to find meme coins, what is yield farming, NFT trading. I mean, there's so much stuff here. And guys, it starts as little as $5 a month. So head to the link down below. I did open up 3 more executive tier slots just this morning. We filled the ones yesterday. So I have 3 more available for you down if you want to check those things out. All of that is available down in the description below. Go check it out. Go join in again, because the gains that I've been in here have just been nuts. And you can see I can just mindlessly scroll, and there's just gains for gains. So feel free to go check that out if you guys do want. Alrighty. So let's jump into the chat, and then we're going to do a free fire, rapid fire section on some technical analysis. And if you are new here, I'm going to have to shamelessly plug one more time. Go follow the boy on Instagram, on Twitter, or on TikTok and on Twitter. All of those are linked down below. I don't personally like trading bots because I don't think they're reliable for what many people say they are. There are trading bots that can get you some small percentages over time and sustainably. That is absolutely the truth. But a lot of trading bots promise 30, 40, 50% gains a year, and I just think that's nonsensical. So, yo, don't scroll so fast over my 200% gains post. Hold on, what was it? Maybe I can see it. Hopefully I don't miss it. Low key, was that you? Was it the XRP USDT one? It must have been that one, yeah? Or was it? Yeah, it must have been this one. Anyway, Bitcoin chart. Granny gets sitting on the stairs and starts forming a middle finger. Yeah. Every pump lasts until people take profits, of course. Would be the fastest fall to a bear market ever. I can't see that the crypto is over around the corner, but who knows with the lizards? Exactly. You never know. You never know. Okay. No scope of ETH. Okay, hold on. Let's see. You got to shout out the guy. Where you at? Scopum ETH. Oh, 210%. Shout out to Scopum with the 210% gainer. 20x long trade. Opened at 2006. Closed at $2,217. Now that's a hell of a trade. Congratulations, bro. Great move. Alrighty. What is the target value for the portfolio? I don't really have one. I would like to see it hit like 50K, obviously, but I am going to add more cash to it at some point. Like, if we go into a bear market, right? If we go into a bear market and I expend all of this cash and it keeps falling, I'm going to add more cash to it. I would like to see it hit 30 to 50K though. Like if I can show people that you can easily hit a 3 to 5x over an extended period of time with very basic cryptos, that'd be great. It will take me a long time to do that again because I'm focusing this portfolio almost completely on very low risk things, right? Like the biggest risk I'm taking are like Ondo, HBAR, SWE, stuff like that. I'm not taking big risks in here. And I might go some meme coins whenever if we do hit a full-blown bull market, but yeah, I'd like to see this bad boy push up to, 30 to 50K at some point, but I do expect that'll take me a couple years to do. How hard is it to get crypto as your main source of income? It's incredibly difficult. It's incredibly difficult. It's actually so difficult that I would encourage most people to not even try it. To be honest, like I use crypto as a tool to elevate yourself and accelerate yourself, but don't use it as a relying thing. Like it's not something I would rely on. It's the bear markets are hard. I'm someone who's all of my businesses are built in crypto. My YouTube channel is obviously built in crypto. I obviously do have some rentals. I do have some stocks. I have all that now, but for many years I was almost all in on crypto. It's incredibly difficult. It's incredibly difficult. How long do you personally think crypto will last? I think it's going to be around for I think crypto or the idea of crypto will be around probably for the rest of humanity. I know that sounds crazy, but I think even if it's not crypto itself, I do think that the idea of a digital transferable currency that's not paper is the future of humanity. I think it's just the direction we're going in. It's like the internet's not going anywhere. A more refined version of it may come, but I don't really imagine it going anywhere. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. We are yeah, we're gonna my marriage. I'm getting married next Saturday, so I'm kind of getting nervous. We're already legally married, but it's just a ceremony. But I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm nervous. Which is funny. I've literally fought in an arena full of 3,000-4,000 people, but I'm gonna go get married in front of 100 people, and I'm nervous. Craziness. All right, let's do some rapid fire technical analysis. Okay, so let's do some rapid fire TA. This is going to get a little bit fast, and so I'm not going to really over explain anything. So do remember to go download your free guides down below if you do get a little confused. So let's start off with ETH. ETH is at a very easy to understand point, okay? ETH is sitting at a macro level of support, the same level of support that it held up right there, held up right there, held up right there. I think doing some dollar cost averages on ETH right now is not a terrible idea. It's not a fantastic idea because it did just lose this ascending ledge of support. So if it does fall below $2,000, it is very possible it falls anywhere from $1,600 to $1,500, somewhere around there. So the way that I see it, if you're going to be doing some buying on ETH, you better either be ready to hold for the long term or set some stop losses below, say, 1875 or something like that, because that is going to likely open the door for a bigger move here. Wouldn't even be a bad idea to do a low leverage long trade here with the tighter, or a rather tight stop loss. Give yourself some room, obviously, but again, I think 1850, 1825, something like that makes a ton of sense because there is a chance ETH does try to bounce back within that thing. It is at a bounce zone right now. It is at a macro support level. So this is just a game. Does it go up? Does it not? So basing off a little DCA with the stop loss or a long trade with a stop loss or just accumulating right here and just being okay if it falls, I think it makes sense. So not a terrible time on ETH there. The same thing does go for SWE. I think SWE is actually in a pretty good spot right now. It's finally back to its key levels of liquidity. I think there's a massive level of liquidity here right now between $2.08 and $2.32, and you're starting to see that reflected in the RSI. It obviously can go down a little bit further because it has not fully overextended on the dailies yet. So I'm not going like all in right now, but I definitely am going to start adding a little bit more SWE to my bag now that it's finally coming back to this level. As many of you know, I did take profits on SWE back on January 4th and January 11th of this year. I took some profits here because we were in that ascending level or that ascending channel. And I told you all, ascending channels almost always break down and you're going to head back to those bounce zones. And we're seeing SWE back at those bounce zones now. So this is when I would be looking to kind of re-enter in on some of the SWE that I sold back here. So looking pretty damn good. Solana. All right, let's see. So Solana's in an okay spot right now. It's obviously back towards that bottom side support, and it is just retesting that golden Fibonacci zone as well. If we do look at Solana just from a more macro perspective, it isn't looking the absolute best, I'm not going to lie, because whenever you have obviously your high, a key level of support, a higher high, then back to support, oftentimes that does open the opportunity for either the head and shoulders pattern or just kind of this distribution in which you are going to then see some sort of capitulation here. I don't particularly think Solana is going to capitulate like that, but it is a possibility, especially if Bitcoin does pull back. So it's kind of just a battle right here. Are we going to see Solana's price hold the support above $125 or not? I would go about it the same way as ETH. I'd be willing to buy here if I have thick skin and I'm okay with it falling as low as $60 to $70, because that is where it could go. Or I would be doing a DCA with a stop loss at right around $115. Or I would be doing a low leverage long trade with a stop loss at somewhere around $120, but it would have to be very low leverage because that's quite a move. I mean, that's pretty far. That's over 10-15%. So 3x leverage, right? You're getting smashed. So I probably wouldn't be low leveraging that one actually, because we are far away from that stop loss level. But again, a little small accumulation here with either a stop loss or just a willingness to write it down. Not a terrible time for Solana. XRP, this has to be XLM. Yeah, XLM, not in the best time to buy, not in the worst time. It is obviously still rather close to this the green zone, which is where I do the majority of my buying. It is still below that 50% threshold, so I think small accumulations on XLM here are fine, but I'd rather be doing big purchases while XLM does enter into the green zone like it did on all these occasions right here. So not a great time, not a bad time to be doing a little bit of buying on XLM. ADA, I'm not particularly interested. I don't love this formation. I don't love the fact that it's made this move. This is a very odd move to make. And it is running into a lot of resistance right here. And so I think ADA has a lot of, that was a huge move upwards and now it's capitulating. So I'm just going to leave my ADA alone. Not really loving what I'm seeing right there. Okay, looking at H-bar. H-bar is actually holding up pretty damn well. What we can see is that it's still maintaining within this golden zone. It tried to break out of it twice and got rejected. Now it's come back down and it's trying to build some support on top of this previous point of resistance and this golden zone. So H-bar is not in a terrible spot. I would be very careful because if it does get rejected, it could start to get ugly. But it does actually look like H-bar might be trying to form some sort of wedge or something like that. So doing some small buys here on H-bar, not a bad idea. I wouldn't be doing huge ones because it is in a major level of resistance, but some small ones, I think it's fine. I don't think there's a big deal for that. ICP is obviously not looking great. I don't really think I need to say that for everyone to see it, but it's not in a terrible spot. What you can see is that ICP is now officially back at the golden zone. And I've always told you, I think doing small purchases at and within a golden zone isn't a bad idea. It is risky, obviously, because there is no guarantee it is going to use the golden zone, but it does have a decent sized chance. And this is usually a rejection level, like I said, the trampoline level. And so I would say that, small DCAs here on ICP, not a terrible idea. If you are a big ICP person, yeah, maybe even a little bit bigger than maybe a little bit bigger than small, right? Maybe some like medium sized DCAs here wouldn't be a terrible time because we are at a macro level of support. But do understand, it might fall to the bottom side of the support, which is another 25% from here. So you need to have thick skin if you're buying any crypto right now, but you really need to have thick skin if you're buying ICP because some sort of move back towards this lower golden zone is very possible. Okay. Going a little bit forward, SHIB and Pepe, I'm not worried about these right now, guys. They're not, it's just not the time. And they're just going to continue to get beat up until they don't. XRP is still a little bit spooky. I've told you all this countless times. The reason I think it's just a little bit spooky is because it's in this ascending channel. I'm not saying that it can't continue to climb through this ascending channel, but 90% of the time, ascending channels break to the downside. That is just the objective truth. Okay, 90% of the time. And will it maybe run all the way again? Maybe it breaks out, right? Maybe it breaks out of this ascending channel. Eventually, though, it's going to come back through that channel. It's almost always what happens. And so knowing that XRP does have that ascending channel, I'm not doing a ton of buying. I bought a lot of XRP in between 56 and 50 cents towards the lower side back down here, just randomly and sporadically through the bear market. So I am personally fine with my 300 to 400% gains on XRP in terms of my average cost. And I'm not personally doing any huge purchases here because XRP had its run. Like it had its own bull market basically, right? And so not saying it can't run, not saying it can't hit $10. I'm not saying any of that. I just know that once you get to the ascending channel side of things, stuff starts to get spooky. I said the same thing for SWI when we were back here. Everyone called me a moron. Now no one's calling me a moron. And I'm looking at XRP and I do get the sense like, okay, maybe it's time to scale it back a little bit, reduce that leverage, relax a little bit, because this does get very risky when it comes to something like this. Okay. Let's go into Caspa. Caspa is a that's a rough spot to be in. What you can see here, obviously, Caspa had that its own little HMZ, right? It had its own little HMZ for a while. Obviously, not really much manipulation going on here, but it did. And yeah, it's pulled back out of it. Now, one thing that I will say is that as of this exact moment, as Caspa is losing support right here, it's actually creating some micro bullish divergence. It's not been fully confirmed yet, so don't rely on it too much. But one thing I am noticing is obviously that higher low and that lower low. And that tells me that Caspa could be seeing a little bit of early signs of bullish momentum, right? Bullish signals. Maybe the bulls are getting prepared to step in. Maybe it comes back down towards, 5.5 cents, start finding this previous zone of liquidity. And then maybe Caspa does start to try to give you that run back to the upside. So I actually would say Caspa's not in a terrible spot. Obviously, I wouldn't be betting big on it because it's not shown us many signs of life in over a year. So I wouldn't be doing too much, but I think, some small, tiny DCAs here are fine if you're a Caspa person. I'm not going to be buying any because I need to see it give me some signs of life. I do not like how it performed in 2024. That was quite rough. And so, it just didn't give me the signs of life that I'd hoped for. So again, that's kind of where I'm with Caspa. I'm not going to be buying any, but small DCAs here are totally fine if that's your prerogative. Okay. Let's go into, again, I'm not really worried about Doge. I'm not worried about meme coins right now. Render is towards the bottom side of that ascending channel. So although I'm personally okay with my render bag, I'm not really too interested in making it much bigger. I might do some small, tiny DCAs on render here because, again, it's in the bottom portion of this descending channel. And matter of fact, I actually do believe it's in the green zone. If we do look, parallel channel, boom, boom, boom. Make this one gray. 1 second. No, not that. Sorry. That. Boom. 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 Yeah, it's in the green zone. Obviously, I didn't even really need to do that to see it. So it is in the green zone. Render is looking pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, small DCAs here are totally fine. It's showing some signs of bullish divergence, right? We have the higher lows, we have the lower lows. I think Render might try to give you a little move here. Render might try to make that move back up towards, $5, $6 at some point. So yeah, I might actually go ahead and add a little bit of Render to my main portfolio bag. Let's actually do that. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm pretty interested in that. Let's add a little Render. Jacob, I think you're on the stream, or Ramsey. Let me know. One of y'all should be on. Go in and to my main portfolio, my secondary portfolio for altcoins, and add a tiny purchase of Render, and then give me a tiny purchase of what was that other one? Nah, I'm good on XLM right now. Yeah, just give me a tiny purchase of Render. Give me it at or below 363 is fine. And let me go let the server know, actually. Y'all can see me in action. Everyone. Tiny purchase being made on Render at... What are we at right now? I'll go a little bit higher than this because it'll probably take a second. 363, let's just say 365 to play it safe. Alrighty. Get a little purchase going on right there. Let's get a little screenshot in there as well. And this is basically what I do, basically anytime that I do anything. Alrighty, there we go. Looks good. Okay. Anyway, moving on. AVAX, Jacob. Oh, yeah, we got it at 364. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thank you. Okay. AVAX. Let's see what this bad boy's up to. That looks like a golden zone rejection to me. Yep, that is. And let's see what the bottom side trampoline's looking like. So we're at the bottom side trampoline. I would actually say AVAX is looking okay. You can actually start to see some of that bullish divergence forming as we are trending upwards as it is falling. It means the bulls are stepping in and slowing this move down. So considering the fact that AVAX is back at this golden zone, I don't think it's a terrible time to pick up a tiny amount. You know what I mean? I think it's reasonable. Obviously, there is the risk of people are going to call this a double top. I'm not particularly as worried about it. There is still risk, obviously, that we could pull back, but AVAX is not super far off, from some of these bear market lows. And this was a liquidity level that held up like crazy during the last bear market. So to me, this should be a strong liquidity zone. I actually think this is a decent time. And while we're doing a little buying, I'll pick up a little bit of AVAX as well. Just a tiny, Jacob, give me a tiny purchase, not even a small purchase. Give me a tiny purchase, again, like 0.51%, something like that. And let's just deploy on a little bit of AVAX right here. Obviously a risky one. There's a decent sized chance it comes back as low as $13. So I'm aware of that, but I'm willing to do a little tiny buy just to kind of see what happens. Do we hold this previous level of support as well? Hold up on some of this previous resistance and support liquidity. Try to use that to push back up to maybe, $30 or something. I don't think it's a terrible time. I think it's okay. Let's just go ahead and do that as well. Jacob, give me that one below $20.50. Looks okay. Throw them a little screenshot in there as well. And you guys can kind of see this is what we do, and this is kind of just a hangout session, obviously. So I usually would do this off stream, but why not? Okay, looks good. Okay. BNB, not where I don't really like BNB anymore for some reason. I don't know what happened. We got good old Fart Coin, the fartiest of coins. Let's see what this bad boy's up to. Oh, I can't believe I have to even look at something like this, dude. Not looking fantastic. I'm not going to lie, guys. The fact that it's losing that golden pocket does open the door for a return back towards that previous point of support. Obviously not guaranteed. We're in a crazy market, but I would be extremely careful right now. I think being realistic, like this thing pulling back another 40% is not impossible. So obviously don't really care about that. Looking at Chainlink. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's a regathering of support, which you don't see often, which is very cool. I don't really see these ever, to be honest. Very odd. Very, very odd. A lot of very weird, honestly. Is it this? Yeah, very weird. That's cool though. You don't really see a regathering of support. That's a very cool thing to happen. Let's kind of look at Chainlink. So the way I'm seeing Chainlink now is we are in a little bit more of an expanding wedge, but it does seem to be towards the bottom percentages of that wedge. So yeah, Chainlink's not a terrible one to be buying. What you can see is it actually did come back and it did back test its previous point of resistance. I would assume it's also back at its own golden zone. Yeah, right back at the golden zone, trying to hold some support. Bottom side of a descending channel. I think Chainlink might try to make a run back up to, $17, $18, $19 at some point. Maybe try to make a push back up there. And obviously it's a risk, but why not? I think Chainlink's in a bit of a decent spot. So I think it's in a bit of a decent spot. I think that's not a bad one. Not a bad one. I think my okay, I'll get that done. Okay, cool. ABC, yeah, and I mean, reasonably, right, on more of a macro perspective, this could be a C wave. It'd be a little bit difficult, but it could be a C wave to the downside. So I think that's interesting. I think we're in a pretty decent spot here for Chainlink. Not a fantastic spot. I wouldn't be doing a lot of buying. I don't love Chainlink. I don't hate Chainlink. I kind of like it, but willing to do a little bit of a little bit of DCAing here. Why not? Why not? Let's do a little bit of DCAing on that one. On Chainlink, Jacob. Oh, he just texted me. Okay, Jacob, we got it at $20.40. That's cool. Let's try to get this bad boy. I think reasonably we can get it 1577 or lower. So let's just go 1577 to play it safe. Alrighty, get a little screener in there. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Okay, looks good. Okay, so there's Chainlink. TARS AI back at that accumulation zone. I made a short about them last night. Okay, I think that's the majority of them there then. I did H bar already, I think. No, maybe I didn't do H bar. Did I do H bar? Yeah, I did H bar. I did H bar earlier. Go check that out. Arrow. I'll do a couple from the chat. I don't usually, but I'll do a couple. Aerodrome. So Aerodrome is looking pretty sick, pretty interesting. Interesting. I haven't looked at this one in either a long time or ever. I can't remember. It's interesting. I see now. I see what you're doing. Okay. Looks interesting to me. I would assume this is a yeah. Not a bad spot, honestly. I mean, the way that I see it, I don't know anything about Aerodrome. Let me just kind of warn you now. I don't know anything about Aerodrome, so I'm just going to throw this out here. But what I'm seeing is that it's back to its a little bit of a pretty sizable golden zone right here. It lost that ascending level support, like you usually will see. It's now back at your bounce zone, which is your previous level support. And so you are also seeing as its price is falling, its RSI is actually stabilizing, which is generally a sign that you are actually starting to see this momentum getting lost, or stable. It's not accelerating anymore, which oftentimes is followed by a loss of bearish momentum. So I would actually say Aerodrome, although it definitely could just continue back down towards these lower levels, like 32 to 40 cents roughly. I actually don't think it's in a terrible spot right now. It looks okay to get some DCAs going, but I would be saving more cash on the side because there's still a pretty decent sized chance it does try to pull back to some of these lower ones. But I would get them going just in case it tries to make that move. Interesting. Okay. I don't really like Litecoin. I don't hate Litecoin. Just don't really care about Litecoin, to be honest. What do you think about virtuals or AI 16s? I do hold some AI 16s. I just think that the AI space is kind of just in its first big crash. Like I think it's in its first big pullback. I do think it'll gain some momentum again at some point. So it's just a matter of letting this all play out, just kind of letting the narrative build itself, right? What's going to happen with AI? Will it survive? Will it go down? Will it act like gaming and just not really come back? Will it have its own narrative and do well? I think it's okay. I'm still holding my AI agents and stuff. What's up, John? How's it going, champ? Welcome in. I think I did Sui. Yeah, I did Sui. I did all that stuff. Yeah, this dude wants to grab. What belt are you in jiu-jitsu? Let me know if I'm walking into a trap here. Dude's gonna be a freaking brown belt. And guess what? I'm bussing out. Scooby snacks, buddy. Alrighty. So that's where we are. I think that's everything. We're gonna go into just a hangout session. Shout out to you. Stein R really has the notification on, bro. You have the notifications on. Mad respect. I see every single time you get the first one. So shout out to you. But yeah, that's kind of everything, guys. I mean, we recapped, okay, what's happening in the market. We recapped the summit. I told you all what Bitcoin is doing. I told you what my strategy is, what I'm buying, what I'm doing. We did a flash TA section on basically every major crypto that I ever talk about here on the channel. We got through all that within just 1 hour. So feel free to go watch any of that stuff. I'm probably not going to post a video today because I don't know what to talk about. So let's just kind of hang out. I'll answer some of your thoughts or some of your questions and give you guys my thoughts. I'm probably going to get unhinged and go on a major rant about some shit at some point. I will warn you, this is when the kid-friendly version of the video ends. Everything past this point, I'm just going to say whatever comes to my mind. So just warning to you there. Before some of you do exit, I will remind you, I do want you to go check out some stuff down below. First and foremost, go grab those 2 free guides in the description. You can get the beginner's guide to crypto if you're new. And if you're a little bit more experienced, there's a beyond the basics that dives more into trading and technical analysis and much more. Speaking of those of you who are good at trading, if you do want to sign up and start trading on BTCC today, they will give you a 10% bonus on all first time deposits between $500 and $100,000, which means that you could get up to $10,000 in bonuses very easily, which is very, very cool. And you're going to get a lot of rewards with that. It's a very easy to use platform. So go check that out down below. And don't forget to follow me on some of my socials at TylerHillYT_ on Instagram, at Tyler Hill Crypto on Twitter, and at Tyler Hill YT that's on TikTok. And sorry, at Tyler Hill YT over on Twitter. All of those are linked down below. If it is not the one linked in the description, it is not me. So do not talk to them. Do not chat with them. There's a bunch of people pretending to be me because I guess they think I'm cool. Jokes. But yeah, so That's available for you all down there. I don't think there's anything else. Yep. Also, if you do want to be able to see these types of things that I am doing, buys, sells, much more, if you want access to, of course, our whole bunch of different classes and workshops, and we got an advanced course, intermediate course, beginner's course, live workshops, deep dives, daily research. I mean, look at this daily research, guys. Like, look at this. Like, daily technical analysis, daily fundamental analysis coming at you hot every single day. You can check out the link to the description in the description down below to the school. You can join for as little as $5 a month and join some of these cool kids who are printing gains on days even like today and yesterday. So check all that down below. And yeah, let's kind of pivot into the fireside chat portion of this video where I start getting unhinged and talking about stupid things. Alrighty. I'm gonna eat my Scooby snacks and don't judge me. Thanks. What happened with NVIDIA? I don't know much about Pi, but I do know, excuse me, shit, graham crackers are dry. A lot of people have made a lot of money on it, especially from like third world countries and stuff, which is fantastic. Love to see them being represented. So very good. Happy about it. I like Crow. I don't love it. I like it. You know, I think exchange cryptos are going to be around for a very long time. I think they're going to be one of the leading performers. So yeah, I like it. Cool. What do you think is the best place to live being heavy into crypto? Probably Dubai. I think Trump is putting things in place for crypto that are going to lead it into the future. Feel how you want about him. The fact that he's got the crypto task force in place, the fact that they have the crypto council in place, he's holding crypto summits, he's drawing attention to crypto, he's showing people that crypto isn't just like, it's not a space that like it's only for retail. It's a place where institutions and governments are there as well. It's going to set precedent that's going to open the doors for other people, other institutions, and other countries. And so, hate him or love him, bad or good press, he's bringing attention to it and he's setting things in place. He's building foundations that will allow the United States to dive back into crypto, which in my opinion is a good thing. The amount of innovation and just liquidity that is in the United States could be something that completely pivots crypto. And so, hate him or love him, I think it's a net positive. He does some dumbass shit, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a net positive. When I might see my AVAX of $40 per week come back in the green. You can't give time frames in crypto. Anybody who gives you a time frame on anything is full of shit. Like, if they say something crazy at the summit, AVAX might be at $40 on Saturday. If crypto says he's banning, if Trump says he's banning crypto, AVAX might be at $10 Saturday. You can't give time frames; they don't exist. I think they're supposed to come to an agreement on tariffs with Mexico and Canada. That would be interesting. I think Ethereum's going to get flipped at some point. After being at the Ethereum Denver conference, I think there's a very high chance that ETH actually gets flipped because they are simply just not doing enough to compete with people like Solana and some of these other ecosystems. So I think ETH is going to get flipped at some point. I don't know. Because Puerto Rico has what, lower state taxes? They have. I don't know. I'm not very big on the whole tax thing. Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't want to say that out loud and get my shit turned up. Do you invest in stocks? What do you think about Palantir? I think now is the best time to buy NVIDIA. I only invest in VOO and SPY. I'm so heavy in crypto, guys. Whenever I'm investing in other places, I don't want to be taking big risks. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just have VOO, SPY, some other ETFs, index funds, and just, some bonds, some, just money market account and savings account, right? I'd just rather keep my money in those places because I'm so volatile in my crypto portfolio. I don't want to be even more volatile in my stocks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, is that loud? My bad. Whenever I crunch these things, I'll back up a little. A lot of people that mined Pi for the past few years said they couldn't validate their coins when it lost, so they didn't take profits, which is why it was up only. Holy shit, really? Damn, bro. Imagine doing that shit for years, bro. Cold world. Agreed. Yeah, hell yeah. Which one? I have a few. I bet you didn't fucking notice that one, did you? That bitch be sneaking. It's the homie. Oh shoot. And then there's this one. This one's sweet. My mom found it for me when I was actually in when she was, I think she was in the Dominican or something like that. But it's pretty. That's the homie. Say hello. No, I don't know. I don't know what happens. It's really a joke though. It's like really jokes. I feel like the longer into the stream I get, you'll notice I'll end up like here, and then I'll end up my foot on the wall, and then my shit will be up there by the end of the stream. I don't know what happens. When you started trading, did you lose a lot or were you natural? I was ass at the beginning. I was so terrible. I lost a lot of money, but I didn't use a lot. That's the thing. Like, I only took like 3% of my net worth and started trading with it to learn. So I didn't lose a lot of money. I lost a lot of trades. Over time, I got better. And the more experience and the more skill I got, the more money I used. People always make that mistake. They get some good wins going, and once they get good wins, they just start scaling the amount that they're trading with. And it's like, dude, you're not ready for that. The more money you start trading with, the more emotional you're going to get, the more it's going to cloud your judgment. You got to ladder in. How long is your hair? My hair goes down. I have one of these, dude. Like one of these. I don't know where it's at. Whatever. It comes down to like right here, roughly. So my hair in general is probably like this long, though. What is your ethnicity? I'm black, white, and Lebanese. Mine's 1600 PI. They say 800 to validate and will be transferred to a wallet soon. Time will tell. Damn, hopefully. Why only 800 though? That doesn't make sense. But I don't know how that works. I don't know much about Move, to be honest. Tyler, a different kind of question. I'm currently cutting, but man, is cardio and putting 8K to 10K steps a day boring as hell. How can I keep cardio fun? To be honest, cardio is just not fun. What I do is I just find TV shows to watch, and I just go to the gym and I get on the indoor bike and I just watch an entire TV show. That's kind of like that's one thing I used to do, at least. Like TV shows can be 45, 50 minutes on Netflix. I just watch one episode every single day. I go get on the bike, 45 minutes, whatever pace I'm at, I'm just doing it. And I won't get off that bitch either. I'll just keep riding the bike and just keep going. And then that's how I did it. It's just not fun, to be honest. You know, it's not fun. You just got to find something to do while you're doing it, the way I see it. Oh, 100% Hack. Shout out to Hack. Hack's so goated. BJJ is good cardio. Hell yeah, very good. T-Dot, what belt are you? Stop playing. Couples cardio is pretty fun. Oh, that's a good point. I've never done that. That's interesting. Is Friday Summit going to just be FUD, or are we going to see some real pump? No one knows. I would expect bullshit and fuckery because that's all we get these days anyway. Oh, that's interesting. I don't, you know, that's not really my part of the world, I guess. I don't know anything about Flare Network. What about them? Just do sports. Yeah. I want to join the intramural basketball team one day. I don't know if I ever will, but I'd like to. I think that'd be really fun. Cardio is just a lot more fun when you're doing it with other people. Anything is really. Yeah, that's a good point. How to grow an initial small investment with time and patience. Oh my God. Best cardio. Do it outside, not in the gym. I agree. I agree unless I'm trying to watch a video or watch YouTube or watch Netflix. Because I'm usually busy. Especially like times like now where we have the agency and then my own channel and then we have the school. And then I'm helping a buddy of mine as well. I'm usually working like 12 hours a day. So I don't really have a lot of time to just watch YouTube and hang out and chill. So I like to use my cardio section or session as a time where I can watch some YouTube and like hang out and stuff. Yep. I'm actually a UFC, I almost said a UFC fighter. That's insane. I used to be an MMA fighter, but I'm retired. I hate people who keep saying they called the top and keep talking shit on the way down, yet they broke too right now. Yeah, it's stupid. Like, no one calls the top. Hindsight's 2020. It might. Of course. Of course. I mean, think about it, right? Like, had you bought, let's go to Bitcoin. Had you been buying, we were in a bull market here, right? We're in a bull market here. The bull market's been happening since 2023. People just aren't ready for that conversation. But, had you been buying anywhere throughout this bull market, even at the tops, had you bought the top of each one of these swings, you'd still be in profit right now. So, of course, there's money to be made in bull markets. There's way more money to be made during bear markets, though, obviously. I think Pereira's going to chin him, but maybe that's just me coping. Would you ever open your own prop firm? I've thought about it. I've actually thought about it quite a few times, but I just have a lot of other stuff going on. Maybe one day. My favorite UFC fighter is probably still Izzy. Who am I a huge fan of? Big fan of Izzy. Big fan of Sean O'Malley, obviously. Kind of like a... I watched both of their debuts live, actually, which is funny. Pereira. I'm a Pereira meat rider. I like Jalen Turner a lot. Yeah, some of those. I have 2 businesses while doing a 9 to 5 at the bank, so I don't have much freedom next to university just to do cardio, whatever. Next bull, I should have all the time in the world. Yeah, love that. Love that. Yeah, you're busy. You're busy. You feel it. I'm 23 and retired from MMA. I'm not retired from working. I work all day, every day, basically. If you could fight any other YouTuber, who would it be? Probably Alex Becker. I don't dislike him. I just love to see what's up. I know he does jiu-jitsu, so I think that'd be interesting. I've been knocked out in the gym once, kind of on accident, and you don't really know what happened. You're literally just training, and then you wake up, you're like, what the fuck was that? I've been choked unconscious a few times in the gym. Does the rest of the MMA fighters smoke a lot of pot like BJJ fighters? Not really. No, I think it's more lung dependent. Like, you depend on your lung. Your lungs a little bit more. Izzy is chill guy. I met him in Perth for UFC throw. I know, dude, but it's just it's the fall of greatness. Time catches anyone. This is what it is. Fantastic run. Peaked when he knocked out Pereira. Great story. Great story. I don't know really much about them, guys. I'm not super in tune with some of these like mid caps these days. I guess I'm so busy. What's your bench? I don't know. Probably not a lot. I'm not strong. Like from a weightlifting perspective, I'm not a very strong guy, to be honest. I had a lot of surgeries. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but you see like the this. I like blew my shoulder up basically about 2 years ago, and since then I'm just I don't really lift. I don't lift much. Can you talk about crypto? We talked about crypto for like an hour and a half, or like an hour and 10 minutes earlier. So just rewind a little bit. I'm just answering the chat, homie. Can you give us how one makes money on the bear market? I don't want to buy at the top. You just buy. Like realistically, during a bear market, you just buy. It doesn't even really matter when you buy, just buy. Every week, just buy. Every Wednesday, buy a little bit. It doesn't matter. Just buy something and just don't sell it and just wait. That's what history has shown. Maybe this time it'll be different somehow, some way, but find your Bitcoin, find your very high quality tokens and coins, buy Bitcoin, buy ETH and Solana, XRP or ADA or whatever. Whenever they're dipping, buy a little bit more, just wait. You just have to be patient. Patience will make anyone money in the crypto market. It's like what I'm doing, right? Because again, everybody says, I don't want to buy the top. I was well aware when I started this portfolio, we might be at the top of the market. And I'm going to show you, if we were at the top of the market, I started this portfolio at the top of the market and I'm going to make money on it. Just give me time. Oh my god, can we see any of your fights? Yeah, you can actually go on YouTube. What the hell is that? You can actually watch a bunch of them. They're all available here. These are some. This is one from like this is like a year. This was the one I actually blew my shoulder up in. I'll show you just a little snippet. But they're all available here. Just type in Tyler Hill MMA. But you can see this is your boy. Put the hands on him. He got out of that, but it got a little ugly after that one. Dropped the 70-piece combo with some shakes and fries on him. But yeah, you can go check them all out here. This one. This was only 5 months ago. This was my last fight. Last fight of the career right here. Happily done. I think there's a couple more in here somewhere. There's a cool little vlog. This was like some corner cam stuff. Yeah, so that's available for you down there if y'all want to go check it out. A dog with hat, I'm definitely not worried about that. What is this news about a super cycle? What's a super cycle? A super cycle is basically to where the microcycles end. So you know how we do like 4 years up and 1 year down and 1 year flat, then four, or one, like it's a 4 year cycle. It's like 1 or 2 years up, 1 or 2 years down, 1 or 2 years sideways, blah, blah, blah. Like the 4 year cycle, blah, blah, blah. They're basically saying that that's not going to happen anymore. We're just going to have periods of boring, pump, boring, pump, boring, pump. It's fucking nonsense. We literally, if you look at crypto from a zoomed out perspective, it is in a super cycle. So I just think it's nonsense. It's another just buzzword that people use to give views. Oh no, yeah, no, I actually fought people for in a cage for money. Yeah, I'm gonna make some quite frankly merch. I think. What's the news going to be about this Friday? I don't know. We don't know what they're going to give us. Like I said, I think Friday's probably going to be full of fuckery as it always is. What no one is mentioning is when exactly the U.S. could even purchase these cryptos. When you think about Congress and its dysfunctional nature, it's kind of the $1,000,000 question. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Some of them they won't have to purchase. Obviously, they might just put some of the like the some of the what's it called when you like seize it, like you seize it. I guess that's the word. Like you seize crypto from people. Seized crypto. It doesn't sound right, but that they might just keep that, right? Or whatever's left of it. And that could mean that there's going to be obviously just a reduction in selling pressure or anticipated possible selling pressure. So that's a thought. But no, it would be interesting when they can actually buy it. I think they're going to give us a lot of information though. I thought I saw someone say, do you leverage trade in a bear market? Oh, there it is. Do you leverage trade in a bear market? Yeah, I do. I leverage trade more in bear markets than I do in bull markets, actually. Don't mix Deca and trend, Jesus Christ. So yeah, so what you'll do is you go to the link down below. It'll be a Patreon link. It's the very first link in this video, I think. Yeah, very first link in the video, Crypto School 35. Click it. It'll take you to Patreon. Sign up. You're going to connect your Discord to the Patreon, and it's automatically going to just put you into the Discord server, which is where a lot of this stuff is at. Yeah, HMZ would be fire. Yeah, yes, they're steel, but it's not the word I was looking for. By the way, I was watching videos earlier, but it's my second time on live, and I really enjoy them. You answer questions, take time to talk with us, etc. Seriously, like a fine. Yeah, I try. I definitely try my best because I enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like I like talking to other people who like talking about crypto. You know what's weird? I really don't like talking about crypto in real life. For some reason, it's just something about it. Like maybe I just get tired of it. I don't know. But whenever I'm like at home, like I want to talk about crypto to people. But obviously, I'm not just gonna like talk to myself, I guess. So it's fun. Like I can use these live streams. I feel like I can use these live streams to get a bit of a closer connection with you guys. And it's great. You know, like I feel like it's actually like a community. Like I feel like I have a real community here rather than just subscribers or people who watch me. I don't know if that makes sense, but shout out to you. What else do you do when you're not trading or MMA fighting? I like to take long walks on the beach. Not jokes. Shit, what do I do? I don't know. I feel like I don't really do anything else. I just kind of work all day. Work out, or I just work. Every day I wake up in the morning. Me and my wife go to the gym. Come back. Eat. Work. Get done working. Either watch some TV, watch some Netflix, watch some shows. We're watching Dexter New Blood right now. We're on Severance also, but we just finished all the 8 seasons of Dexter. I do that, or I just go to the gym, go train, coach. Yeah, I don't really do anything, really. I just travel a lot whenever I get a chance. What's your record? I'll just give it to you combined. I had over 20 kickboxing fights and MMA fights, and that ended up, I think it was like, from what I remember, like 23 wins and 1 loss. I took a loss against a dude named Ramel Canales, like in 2016 or 17. Confiscate. That's the word. Confiscated crypto. Shout out Jim Jarvis. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Tyler, we get into a new HMZ. What's your take on this matter? Please let us know. Go check out the beginning of the video. You'll see all of it. I got into real estate just because I needed somewhere to plant cash. You know, I was like 19, 20 years old, and I was pulling anywhere from, you know, I was pulling 5 figures a month, and I didn't really know what to do with it or where to put it. And so I needed somewhere to put it that I thought made sense. And obviously, real estate made the most sense to me. It's very simple to understand. And so I kind of house hacked my first one. Kind of, not really. I don't remember what that word is in the BR, the Burr strategy. But I bought a house, got a super low interest rate, moved out of it a year later, rented it out. Then I bought another one, and then I bought into a 10plex. And then we're probably going to pick up another rental within the next couple months here. I'm just lazy. Not lazy. I guess I don't really feel like looking and going, doing inspections and walking around and finding deals and doing math, yada, yada, yada. I do draw. Yeah, that's a good point. I do draw. I haven't been, man, I got to get back to it. I actually forgot about drawing. Like, I haven't done that in like 2 months. So I definitely need to get back to drawing. I just haven't had much time. I've been to not many countries. I've been to a lot of cities, but I've been to the Dominican Republic. I've been to Puerto Rico. Fuck's sake, Puerto Rico. Jesus Christ. I'm just thinking about that area. Dominican Republic, Belize, Honduras. I don't know if the Cayman Islands are a country. I'm not that good with these things. Dubai, which is in the UAE, obviously. I think that's it. I feel like I've been somewhere else. It's like very obvious. I just can't think of it. I've been going like city hopping for the last couple of years, like going to Boston, San Francisco, Austin, Dallas, New York, Vegas, bunch of cities in Florida, Georgia. I've been to most major cities. And so now that I've seen most cities in the US, now I'm kind of starting to branch out now. And I'm going to go, we're having a Japan trip this year. We're going to Singapore this year, Indonesia this year. Next year, we're going to France, Italy, Greece. So a good bit of those. Anyway. Yeah, that shit really wasn't cool, bro. They did Doke so dirty. Nah, I've not watched Snowfall, should I? What's the best crypto to buy for a very small investor in this climate, in your opinion? Bitcoin and nothing else. I like Oscar a lot. I know Oscar personally. He's a good dude. What's the worst job you've had? Here, let me answer this one first. Any tips for buying your first home? Don't rush it. The first time you go look at houses, you're gonna be incredibly excited. I mean, you're gonna look at everything like, yo, look at that, look at that, look at this fridge, look at this fucking closet, right? You're gonna get very far ahead of yourself. Like, you might end up with a little bit of buyer's regret because you might buy one without going look at a bunch of other ones, right? You might look at the first one you look at, you're gonna love it. Of course you will, because it's the possibility that it's gonna be your home. And you're gonna be there and you're gonna be looking at it and you're gonna be so excited. And just trust me, delay that gratification. Even if it means you lose the house, like delay the gratification, go look at other houses and go look at more options, because you never know. And I feel like I rushed mine a little bit, and that's why I kind of do regret it a bit, but it is what it is. I did get that thing at a 2% interest rate, so I don't really give a shit now. But yeah, don't rush it. And then obviously, the biggest piece of advice I would have is save up more cash than you think. So, like, if your down payment's going to be $15,000 or $10,000, save up probably $10,000 more than that. Because trust me when I tell you, you're going to get in that house and there's going to be more shit than you can possibly imagine wrong with it. Things are going to break, things are going to go wrong. And if you only save enough for the down payment plus a little bit, like, and closing fees, obviously, you're going to be shocked at how fast that money starts draining. Whether you have an air condition issue or a door issue, fucking dude hit a rock into my window, right? Like 3 weeks in, like things like that. So it's more costly than you will expect, especially when you first get started. But once you kind of live in it for a month or two, you'll fix a lot of the stuff, either yourself or get someone to do. And then the bills do start coming down. And then, of course, just make sure you always have that emergency fund set aside, because, I had one night where, out of nowhere, there was just an electrical surge. It wasn't even lightning. It was just an electrical surge. Hit the air condition out of unit, $4,000. Boom, just like that. So gotta be mindful of all the expenses. Don't just save up for a down payment. Man, 40-50% more is probably a good idea. What part are y'all going to, and how long are y'all going to? Or how long are y'all going for? Can we watch them? We all know they recorded somewhere. What? Shout out to you, Jeff. Come to Denmark, Copenhagen. I will give your wife some free lashes. I got a beauty clinic. We can talk games. I love it. Maybe one day. I want to get in real estate. I'm 18 right now, but I don't know how to start really. Find a real estate agent and talk to them. Find a real estate agent. Oh yeah, I forgot to answer your question. I'll answer that. Find a real estate agent, make a close bond with them, take them to lunch, take 20, 30 bucks, take them to lunch, talk to them and ask them. They will tell you everything you need to know. What's the worst job you've had? I don't want to say this in a bad way because I do appreciate it a ton, but I was a dishwasher from 16 years old to 18 years old. I learned a lot of lessons and I learned a lot about myself. Dude, do you see how my damn leg is on the wall? I'm telling y'all, by the end of the stream, I'm gonna be up here. But yeah, I was a dishwasher from 16 years old to 18 years old, and I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about hard work. Because I was in high school, right? So I was going to school from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. during the week, Monday through Friday, or Monday through Thursday. Then I would go to training from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then I'd come back home, do my homework, go to sleep, and repeat. Then on Friday, I would get out of school on senior year at 1, and I would go to school from 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I would leave school and go to work from 2 o'clock to 11 o'clock for 9 hours. I'd go to sleep, wake up the next day, and then I would work from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on many Saturdays, come home, watch the UFC fights, go to sleep, wake up on Sunday, and then I work from 7 a.m. because I had to clean events. So 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I'd work like another 11 hours or so. Then I'd spend the rest of Sunday just playing video games and stuff. And it was very difficult. It was very hard. I was very tired all the time. I kind of do regret it a little bit. I wish I'd have been a little more social and I'd have done more. And I did some stuff, just not as much. And I do regret that a lot. So if any of you are in high school, just trust me, the money's always going to be there. Um, I miss high school sometimes just because I felt like I had no responsibilities and like you can just hang out with your friends all day and you think your problems are big, but they're really small in the grand scheme of things. And like, I do regret that a ton, but I learned a lot about it. But washing dishes in that time period was quite difficult. It was just very gross. Your feet and shit are wet all night, and you get home and your fucking room and your car stinks, and it was just. Ugh. So yeah, that was definitely the worst job I had. I hate trading patterns like double tops and head and shoulders. They're never accurate. What's your opinion? Completely agree. Use them as like an extra form of confirmation for investor sentiment, and then use them as kind of a reverse indicator sometimes. That's what I'd say. Shout out to Edward Horton, old Doc. Old Doc. All love, brother. All love. How did you hit 5-figure months when you were 18? YouTube. YouTube. Because AdSense, I mean, you got to think like in 2020 and 2021, YouTube was paying a shit ton for ads. And I mean, I had some videos getting 30, 40K views, right? And I was posting 2 or 3 of them a day. So I was pulling 30, 40K a month just off YouTube AdSense. And then obviously another like 20 to 40K a month from trading, from crypto. Like it was nuts. That was a crazy ass time period. And obviously I do more than that now, but I know what I'm like. I have like, these are companies that I'm running that are, these are revenue generating companies. That was me just back then freestyling, So it was, man, what a weird ass time in life, honestly. And jeez, are you secretly Spider-Man? I think I'm too injury prone to be Spider-Man. Will you ever turn your videos into like a financial school business? I've thought about it a lot. I'd like to do it one day. I actually in Lafayette, and some of the surrounding cities and stuff. I'd like to open a foundation that does like we raise money obviously from some of my business partners, whatever, and we hand out like scholarships, but for like students who are more entrepreneurial and stuff, or they're going to school for business or whatever it may be. And in addition to that, I'd also like to have a YouTube channel, or maybe even this one day, where it's also centered more around the business side of things. But I just want to learn more lessons. I want to learn more. I've obviously only been in business for about coming up on 6 years now, and I still feel new to the game. So I'm learning as much as I can, and then once I feel a little more confident, then I'll just start kind of propagating all that, So yeah, but one day, probably so. Who do you got? I'm going Alex. Why did you stop fighting? The injuries. I've had 5 major surgeries now. I'm just tired of it. My wife is not into crypto. She hears me complaining or excited about it all the time, but she's not super big into it. She does invest a little bit in stocks though. Finished high school last year and realized I took it for granted, man. It really was the most fun time. 100%. But hey, you're still young, like I'm still young, right? And just the money will always be there. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned is I spent 16 and 17 and 18 years old, like just chasing money, and I did okay. Like, I graduated with high school with like, I think like 15 or 20,000 bucks saved, because I was literally just not stop working, and sponsors from fights and stuff like that. But, I can make $20,000 so much easier now, and some of the lessons that I learned in high school have allowed me to get to, I guess, the point that I am now, which is corny as fuck to say, but it's like I gave up so much for like 20,000 bucks. Like I would, like damn near pay 20K to be able to go back and just relive some of those moments, So I don't know. It just is what it is. And I'm just going to take that as a learning lesson and not make those same mistakes now. Between Cardano and Solana, which one would be your biggest bet? Solana, because it does more. PR does feel like a different country. Yo, I have 3 mil. Should I wait for a pullback or get in now? Slowly DCA in now probably makes sense. Any tips for creating content on YouTube? Find your niche and stick to it. Find your niche, stick to it. Don't overbroad, like don't make videos that are too broad and hitting too many different audiences. Keep it specific to a specific audience and just make videos as often as you humanly can. Stay watching it, stay locked in, watch as many YouTubers as possible, steal their shit, steal their titles and thumbnails, not their scripts because that's crazy, but steal their ideas. Just do all that. What does that one person say? A good artist copies people, a great artist steals from them. Like just use them as inspiration, and over time you'll start to develop your own I don't know what the word, the style, I guess, right? Like that's what I would say though. Stay consistent in the same niche for a long time and you'll do perfect. You'll do totally fine. I've been on YouTube for 7 years. You know, I didn't make 1,000. It took me 3 years of being on YouTube to make $1,000. So hello, sir. I was in, oh, you stop it. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. I thought that was a scammer. I was sent money as USDC from Sui wallet to Bybit, but I confused. No, I'm not received from Bybit. Reach out to Bybit support. Yeah. You can go on. Yeah, we watched one of them just now, but yeah, you can go on. YouTube and you can check out some of the fights. I am not your legal financial advisor. Kate O'Neill will be though. We're in hangout session now. My wife is a big fan of your term lizard people. People think I'm dead ass serious when I say lizard people. Like obviously I don't think people are dressed like lizards are dressed in suits controlling it, but it's just whatever. Wish I would have enjoyed my childhood way more than I did. Same. What's your guess? Trump takes tariffs off within a month? I don't know, bro. He seems dead set, and he literally said there's no getting out of this. So I don't know, but I don't agree with some of the shit Trump does, but I do know he's a hell of a businessman. Hate him or love him, that is objectively the truth. And I think he has a plan. So I'm just curious to see how it plays out. And if he's wrong, he'll get shit on. So it just is what it is. You know? How old is he? How old is who? Should start a challenge where you start with 1,000. Would be good for people who don't have deep pockets. Well, no, what you got to think about though, right, is that, so I did this portfolio with $10,000. Just divide this by 10. Everything I do here, just don't copy it, obviously, but just divide it by 10 to have an idea of what I would be doing with $1,000. It's the same concept. You think Sol is in with XRP and ADA because maybe it has to do with Trump's meme coin? Oh, that is 100% why. I think the whole M2 global supply thing is becoming such a big narrative that it's not going to really be all that effective. Once everyone starts talking about something, it's usually not very impactful. Would go back to high school years in a heartbeat, man. Yeah. And it's crazy. I've only been out of high school for like 6 years and I feel the same way. I'm like, fuck, I miss it. Like I wish, like sometimes I don't know if this is weird or not, but like I have dreams of being back in high school and shit. Like, I don't know. I wish I would have enjoyed it more, but it is what it is. I had a good time. I enjoyed college. I was only there for like 2 years, but yeah. I lost my login for a legacy YouTube account with 1K subscribers. Any recovery tips? YouTube support is very helpful. I think they'll be able to help. Lizard Games would be a better documentary. Taking profits question, if you were willing, sir. When I watch you guys take profits off time, I see a reduction in the coin you were taking position on, not USDT. Is that accurate? I usually do it in USDT. Like if I have $10,000 of Bitcoin, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to close $300 worth of this position. I usually do it based on that, but it's the same thing, realistically. Any updated thoughts on Caspa? I like it. I don't love it, but I did do a little bit of TA on Caspa earlier. I think it's all right. You know, it just didn't show me many signs of life in 2024, and that's not usually a great sign, to be honest. Yeah, I get that a lot. Put on some low vibes for a sec. Let's see what we got. We got this. No, not that. I don't hear it. Oh, there we go. I guess the little background music thing ain't working on StreamYard. Oh, well, never mind. All right. Keep jamming with your people. You will build a big bus fast. You're spot on. Love it. Always. Shout out to Edward, by the way. I see you every video. Can we expect more lives like this when you actually go into trades and chit chat with us? Yeah. Yeah, of course. Freaky Friday, of course. One statement from Trump and Bitcoin dumps like a meme coin. The altcoin season can't start with these conditions. We can agree and disagree. Can you tell Pump about Ethereum, Tyler? What do you mean? What's your favorite artist? Glorilla. My favorite artist is, I've been a Central C meat rider for the last year, so probably that. It was your last fight, October 24. Yep, my last fight ever. Unless Influencer Fight League wants to let me fight one of the, like, Alex Becker or something, I'll do it. But happily done. XR Render, the homie. What's up, champ? Happy to have you in. Cyber Connect coin. Nah, I haven't, but that sounds so, like, buzzwordy. Don't trust any of us, quite frankly. Like, I'm just joking. I'll tell you what I think you need to hear, whether or not you like it or not. You can trust that from me. I think Caspa's 10 BPS update is dropping shortly or something next 2 to 5 days, but unsure. Yeah. Best cold wallet. I'm a big fan of Ledger. Glorilla got some bangers, and I don't care what any of you say. Simple as that, champ. I'm trying to play some of this background music. It's not working. Wonder if this button works. Okay. That does work. Just got here. Recap. We've honestly gone over a ton. Fight other crypto YouTubers. Maybe. But I kind of feel bad. Why do you want to fight Alex? Just because he does jujitsu. Like, I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to fight someone in crypto who's never fought before or, like, trained before, because I just feel like a dick. Because I started training in 2009. So there would really be, I don't know, it's kind of, I don't want to say unfair because it sounds like I'm tooting my horn, but the reality is that's just not cool. But, like, Alex Becker's big and strong and he does jujitsu. So I think that's like that would make sense. You know what I mean? I saw that you have a separate page for the videos of your school. Where can I find those? Yeah. So look, go to Discord, go to Merge Help. You should have received an email that gives you access to Kajabi, because Kajabi is where we have all of the this stuff. Let me see if I can pull this up. This is where you can find, like, all the live workshops, the beginner course. Like, the beginner course, for example, has, like, what is crypto, how does it work, the value prop, case studies, safety, a whole bunch. Like, this is a full course that you guys can take. So go sign up for Kajabi. If you didn't get an email regarding Kajabi, just go to Merge Help and message Bryce or one of those guys, and they'll help you. Alrighty. Jiu-jitsu is the most sus martial art. That is reasonable. I definitely think wrestling is a little more sus, because, like, you're also wearing a damn, what's that shit called? It's slipping my mind. The little, the little suit. Shit. It's not a lapel. It's a whatever. I don't care. All right. Do you think the temporary bear market of crypto will affect stocks? No. I don't think crypto is going to have an impact on stocks. Stocks can definitely impact crypto, though. Leotard, there you go. Alex Becker aped back into crypto with Trump. ADA XRP Soul News. That's interesting. Nah, yeah, that's a gi. That's in jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about wrestling. Yeah, singlet. That's it. A singlet. Yeah, wearing a singlet in wrestling is way more suspect than like no gi or gi, for sure. Objectively, right? I don't know. The way that the jiu-jitsu guys walk, though, is a little bit spicy. I know y'all ain't gonna like that one, huh? All right, guys, I gotta go. I have a meeting coming up here. I have to go jump and get some stuff done. let me show you some stuff first before you exit. First thing first, like the video if you have enjoyed the live stream. Let me show some stuff real quick. Go follow me on Instagram, TylerHillYT_. It is linked down below. You can also follow me on TikTok at TylerHillCrypto. Follow me on Twitter at TylerHillYT. All of these are places you can stay up to date with some extra stuff that I'm posting. If you do want to see whenever I'm buying stuff, selling stuff, and all that, as well as get access to a bunch of these different courses for as little as $5 a month with a money back refund guaranteed, you can check out the link to the school down below. And if you are an experienced trader who knows what they're doing, check out that link to BTCC, which you will get a 10% bonus on all first time deposits down below. If you don't want to do any of those things, but you do want more information, you can at least go download the free beginner's guide and the free beyond the basics guide, both of which are going to give you information regarding, crypto investing, strategies, risk management, and much more. All you got to do is enter in your information. We'll send you an email with all that available for you. So go check that out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy the stream, and I hope you guys do have an absolutely fantastic week ahead. See you, everybody. Peace out.